Heyo everyone, Drizzerey here, and welcome to another time-lapse video. Before we get started on this video, I wanted to make a few quickie little announcements. First off, I am going to pause my Patreon for July. I'm not quite caught up yet with all the previous rewards, but I will be soon. The issue I'm having is that this month was stressful, and I'm sure you all understand. So I decided to give myself a little birthday present because next month is my birthday, and give myself like a break and a chance to readjust to things that are going to be changing. Like I'm going back to the office full-time instead of working from home part-time, and yeah, this will also just give me a minute to cool down. I am doing a lot better, but I would like to keep it that way and not overwhelm myself or push it back so that I don't fall back into the pit of badness. And so the other thing is, I am trying to do 2 video updates a week. We will see how that goes. I might go back to just 1 because it's still requiring me to make like 2 pictures a week, and I don't know if I can do that. We shall see. I'm gonna try. And the last thing is, I started a TikTok. I'm really enjoying TikTok, and if you want to check me out, I'll have link down in the description below. So in this video, I decided to do something a little bit different. We're not going to be talking about anything, you know, creative mental blocks or any of that stuff. Not in this one. I decided I'll just try to go over this picture. Which, oh look, it's a McHanzo drawing. So, for those who don't know, I am a huge McHanzo stan, and they're McCree and Hanzo from Blizzard's Overwatch. And this was my Valentine's Day picture, I believe, for 2019. There's a lot of things here that I actually did wrong, but I am very proud of myself for the background. Remember when I said I'm not much of a background artist? Yeah, this one showed me that with some helpful tools, I can be. Like, I did like what I did with the other picture from last week, but this one I feel just looks so much nicer, is more aesthetically pleasing, and I actually like it way more than I like the way I drew the subject matter. There are things in the subject matter that I appreciate, like Hanzo always turns out really fabulous. I don't know why. I always have such an easier time drawing Hanzo than I do McCree. And you probably have seen me, you'll see me struggle with his hat and then decide, oh, I'm gonna put it on the bench, and it still doesn't look that great. I need to practice hats, I really do. It's literally the worst part about drawing McCree is his hat. Everything else is kind of quasi-annoying because it never feels like I do it right. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way on who draws McCree. Anyhow, I am proud of my process here. So as you can see, I'm trying to incorporate some foreshortening, perspective. I was like, I know how to do perspective. The thing is, I don't like doing it because it's a lot of extra work, and here's kind of why. It does work well, but again, it's just a lot of freaking work, and I'd rather not if I can get away with it. And then here's my kind of quasi-sketch, which I don't know if I recorded it or not, but you see my background concept and pop up every once in a while as I'm drawing these two. The line work came out pretty good. I did have to take a break from this picture because it was really, really tiring. So I think I started the line art. The line art didn't come out the way I wanted to, and then I think I threw it out. And then I took a break. And yeah, I was left with this kind of quasi filled in sketch, which I don't do very often, and I kind of liked it. I thought it came out nice as a sketch, but I got really sick and tired of not finishing things, and so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna finish this picture before Valentine's Day, and I think I finished it on Valentine's Day. Yeah, my line art came out pretty good. Am I using Paint Tool Sai? Yeah, I'm using Paint Tool Sai. I think around this time I was working at my graphic arts job, which I was I sometimes use the Photoshop because that's what was there and I felt like drawing. And I can get away with it because graphic art. And sometimes I would make the Photoshop file and bring it home and then work on it on Clip Studio Paint, because if you save it a certain way, Clip Studio Paint can open it. And I forgot how to do that because I don't use Photoshop anymore. I don't like Adobe. Like, it's fine. If you can afford Adobe, you like Adobe, go for it. However, because of what they do and how they run their business, as somebody who doesn't make a lot of money using their product, and how much I would have to spend just to use it, I don't think that's cool. I think the subscription service is terrible. I think you should have the programs available to buy, and this is why I'm always going to be like, Clip Studio Paint all the way. It's a better program anyway because it has all the tools that I want to make the pictures I want, including animation. I don't need a separate program for that. I don't need a separate program for 3D. Anyway, I'm ranting, I'm sorry. Adobe brings out the rant in me. Anywho, we're still working on the line art here, and for anyone wondering about the line art and how to line art is extremely hard to get the hang of. You have to know how you want your art to look. Do you want a more softness to it? Do you want bold lines? Do you want thin lines? Do you want line variation and all that stuff? And I tend to just go with what looks the smoothest. I want a smooth line. And I honestly don't care about the size, although I tend to go back to thinner lines. Like, considering how stylized my style is, I probably should be using bolder or softer lines, but I don't. At some point I'm probably going to try the softer lines because I do like the way it looks. I just keep defaulting to my default. And here's me struggling with the hat. God, that hat was terrible. Like, I don't usually bash on my art, especially not in my videos, but that hat. I kind of want to make a video compilation of all the things I struggle with, you know, at very high speeds, because that's, to me, that's funny, especially with the hands. I could literally make a video on me just struggling with the hands. Like, I know how to draw hands. I even know how to break them down, and you can see me going through the process of breaking down hands and erasing them, putting back together, doing different hand poses. Like, you can see me, I know what I'm doing, and it just doesn't look how I want, so I just keep doing it again and again and again. And I find it entertaining. I kind of want to do that. And then here's me, here's the background part. I think I got done with these two, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna fill in this background how I want, because I think it's gonna be a really pretty idea. I had a really pretty idea, and I think that's why this background, I'm so happy with it, because it did turn out as pretty as I wanted it to. I wanted it to be super pretty, and I went all out throwing everything I could at it to make it look nice. I did start with the brown. I think I darkened everything up, like all the stumps and stuff. Or stumps, the trunks. And I went with this pink and teal, which I was gonna go green, but I saw that the teal just looks nicer. So I went with the teal, and I got my nice sky blue in the background there, which you can barely see. Turned down the saturation on the trunks so that the grass and especially the blossoms just pop. Just super pretty. And now I'm going into color, and I do have a swatch that I go with. I try to use the same swatches for these two all the time to have that consistency, because I do want to do comics with them, which is kind of hilarious because I don't want to color my comics. I just want to do black and white comics. And speaking of comics, my comics that I'm currently working on, I'm still struggling trying to figure out a process for it. So I'm hoping to get that done early next month. Anyway, so about the swatches, I have been trying to save my swatches and have like semi-character sheets. The funny thing is these swatches came from like my Mer versions of these two, but I liked how the colors turned out, so I just kept them. I was going to give him, you know, a shirt showing off his tattoo, and then I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like drawing that tattoo, so he's gonna have a nice purple shirt. I did want to limit my palette on this, just because, again, I don't want too much really distracting from how the background pops. Even though these two are supposed to be, you know, the main focus, having this little bit of saturated color that's not in the background, I feel like does make them stand out really nice without taking away the prettiness that is the background. And again, turning down the saturation, because I like saturated colors, and I know that's also to my detriment. To people who love using saturated colors, I will never tell you not to use saturated colors, but be aware, too much saturated colors in a single piece is going to hurt eyes. And to people who say, don't use saturated colors, fight me. I will keep using saturated colors. And I will do my best to try to desaturate in other areas so that the colors I really want to show up. And we are approaching the end of the video, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, please lay them on me. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to support me, please check out my Patreon, my Discord, or my Ko-fi. Or if you'd like to support me in other ways, please check out my social media. Links will all be down in the description below. And if you want to see more, subscribe. I promise you will see more. And I'll catch you in the next video. Later!